Pokemon is the hottest seller everywhere, and you want to get into it. Let me give you a 101 lesson in how to buy Pokemon. Welcome everybody to Wonder World Comics. I'm Dennis Barger, 45-year veteran of buying everything collectible, 35-year veteran of selling everything collectible, and 20-year veteran of owning stores. So you want to start selling Pokemon? Well, first you need to understand what Pokemon is. Pokemon is a card game based off of an animated show in Japan called Pocket Monsters. The game came out in 1995, and 4 years later, it took America by storm. These are the original Japanese Pokemon cards. This is Charizard. You're gonna hear his name an awful lot in this video. Every kid loves Charizard. He's the most popular character in all of Pokemon, next to Pikachu, who's basically the lead character. This is the Japanese Charizard. This is his American counterpart. Not all Charizards are the same, and we're going to go into it in this video. Pokemon was a game created by Satoshi Tajiri. He created probably one of the greatest taglines in the history of marketing. Gotta catch 'em all, when he created Pocket Monsters, the card game. That tagline would make every kid want every card ever made that they could buy and trade with their friends. This is just a smattering of different Charizards. We're going to get into this later in the video. These are commons and uncommons. How do you tell that? Well, there's nothing holographic anywhere on the card. And then when you look down here, you're going to see a little tiny circle. That little circle means it's common. It's dirt. It's a piece of paper. They've made millions of these. Never pay anything for bulk. I pay half a cent a card. The little square over here, that is an uncommon. It's slightly better than dirt. It's like dirt with a little bit of sand in it. It's slightly more valuable, but for the most part, you throw all of these in a box and you let kids dig through them and pay you 4 or 5 of them for $1. And they will give you those. But let's get to the next tier. Now we're gonna get to holos. Holos are made of every card in the Pokemon set. However, these are denoted by the different kinds of holographic technology that they use for these. If you see, as I slowly turn them, those holos move up and down. That's also an anti-counterfeiting measure put in by the Pokemon Company. Every card that was made in as a common is also made as a holo. Next up is the reverse holo, where the picture was holographic at the last level. The actual card is holographic now. Every card, once again, in the deck has a common, uncommon, rare, a holo, and a reverse holo. Don't get sucked into these. These only go for $1 or less. Sometimes for a better character, you can get $2, but don't invest in these. Everybody has bulk for these. I don't pay more than 10 cents a piece for reverse holos. All right, here's where the real money is made. Ultra rares. Ultra rares are super shiny. They attract the attention of a child like a laser pointer is attracting a cat across the room. They can't resist the ultra rare. And these ultra rares can go from, in my store, $1 to $4 a piece on average. These are the ones that make me the most amount of money in store because it's lots of little transactions. Kid has $5, he could buy 3 or 4 of these. Kid has $20, he could buy 10 of these. This is the money ball of Pokemon card selling. And next up is alt art and hyper rares. These are the super shiniest, different art on every card. This is a 1-star alt art. This is the 2-star special art. And over here, the 3-star hyper rare. This is a Charizard. This is a Charizard with 3 gold stars. This is the shiniest cherry on top card you can get. These go for in the 15 to 20 zone. This can be all the way up in the 30 to 40 zone. And it's only been out for a couple of years. Now let's get into vintage. Vintage Pokemon came out in 1999. It's called First Edition Base Set. You can tell it's first edition by this little first ed over here. But also on the other side, you're not seeing a shadow along that edge. That shadow came in the next edition. That shadow would be in all the rest of the cards throughout vintage. First ed shadowless is the very premium first thing released for US Pokemon. It has lots of different little variations. Then you get a set called Shadowless Unlimited. It doesn't have that little first ed on it, but it doesn't have the shadow. Then after that comes Shadow Unlimited. That is the first US set that they printed into oblivion, but still maintains a high collectible value. Here's a fossil card from the first edition of Magneton. This card has a shadow. It has the jungle fossil symbol over here in the side. It's a first edition. They made unlimited editions of this fossil set, but you have to learn what these set symbols are. And you also have to make sure you don't get fooled by a fake first edition either. Look real close to the right side of the picture of the Pokemon. You're gonna see a black shadow on the one on the left, and you're gonna see 0 shadow on the one on the right. Shadowless is always rarer than something with a shadow. And now we're gonna talk about grading and Charizards. Here's Japanese Charizard from 1997. This is 2 years before Pokemon was released in the US. This is also graded in a PSA slab. PSA gives you a lot of information up here. It's a 1997 Japanese Team Rocket Dark Charizard Holo, graded 6, and it's card number 6 of the series. Then we get to the 1999 release. Remember I told you about Shadow and Shadowless? Right here. That's a Shadow Raichu Holo from 1999, graded PSA 9. This card right here, we sell in our store for $150. It's 1 grade away from perfect. Now we're gonna see the difference between Beckett and PSA. Beckett is one of the oldest grading companies. They made the magazine about collectible cards. They've fallen out of favor lately in favor of PSA. PSA is the preferred card grading company. These are both a 4, but if I were to sell these in the open market, I'm asking for $300 for this card. This card right here, I'd probably have to ask a little bit less if I wanted to sell it because the buyers do not respect Beckett the way they should. These are both a 4. They're both a 1999 base unlimited Holo Charizard. Beckett does have another really cool thing. They do the quad grades. What is a quad grade? Well, it tells you what the centering is. It tells you what the corners are graded at. It tells you what the edges are graded at. And then it gives you a grade for the entire surface. PSA doesn't do any of that. PSA just says, we say it's a PSA 4. And collectors seem to like that better. So now I've explained grading. Now I've explained Charizard. Now I've explained vintage. And now I'm going to explain why the difference between this card, and this card is a couple of zeros. Which one of these 3 cards is worth $80? Which one is worth $200? And which one is worth $5,000? If you said that the $80 card is this one, you're correct. This is a 2016 Evolutions Charizard Holo, graded 7.5. This is a reprint of this card. It's always going to be worth less than this card. It's graded 7.5. This is graded half of that, but it's still $19.99, 17 years earlier than this card. But wait, how much is this one worth? This is worth $200. It's only a grade 4, which means it's in the lower tier of what you would look for vintage cards like this. It's kind of beat up, but then it's the original, and everybody wants to own at least one of the Charizards from the original Unlimited set. But wait a second, which one's worth $5,000, you say? It's this one. Why? Because it's not a first edition, but there's no shadow on this. This is a 1999 base shadowless Charizard, holographic rare, the in-between set between first edition and Unlimited, and it's graded 8.5, which is very good for this card. That is one of the holy grails, and you can actually see little subtle differences. This is lighter, this is darker, this is even darker. They went through that transition between that first, the second, and third original set. And then the reprint kind of makes it look a little bit more like this one than it does like this one. This is our $1 to $2 binder. All the cards in here are $1 to $2 each. We put them all on a penny sleeve and price them on the penny sleeve, so that way the kid can take the card out, bring it up to us, and give us $1. These are some of our biggest money makers. We sell between 100 and 200 cards from these binders every week. This is what they call turns in the business. You want to have as many small item turns as you can, because that gives people at every price point fabulous merchandise to buy at a good price. Most of these cards we will pay between 25 cents and $1 a piece for. In bulk, we pay a little bit less because we're going to take cards that won't even make it into this binder. If we're buying your collection, we're going to make you an offer of between 50 cents and $1 for a $2 card. We're going to make you an offer of 25 cents to 50 cents on a $1 card. The cards in these binders are going to be the holos, the ultra rares, occasionally a high-end reverse holo. Those are the things that you buy cheap, you sell cheap, and you basically provide a service to the customer. This is the 3 to 4 binder. You got V cards in here, V Maxes, V Stars, and a lot of other high-end ultra rares, promos, vintage. Here's a vintage promo Mew, $3. These are all the cards that are kind of that next level from the $1 to $2 card. The more popular Pokemon can go for an extra $1 to $2. In this binder, we have $3 and $4 cards, and we even have some vintage cards, and right here, we even have a shadowless for only $3. This binder was just filled up on Monday, and we're filming this as of Wednesday, and you can see every one of these holes is a card that was sold here in the store in just the last 2 days. When I started this store out, it was going to be a vintage retro themed comic book store. Pokemon was part of that mix. After a year, we realized Pokemon represented almost as much money as the comic book side of it did. We do 40% of our business in retro comic books, we do 40% of our business in Pokemon, and the rest of the store makes us about 20% of our monthly gross. Pokemon is big business, but you gotta take baby steps. Don't go crazy into it. You can't just do Pokemon. You have to take baby steps, you have to build your inventory, you have to make sure you're making turns on that inventory, and you have to make sure that you have money to buy the next collection that comes through the door. Thank you for watching Wonder World Comics. If you have any questions about Pokemon, ask them in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe, and watch me on the Industry of Comics show on Beyond Wednesday. Thanks for watching.